Well, I thought I could go from music to writing really because of the atmosphere of Bennington, and that was a very assertive, aggressive approach to creative work. If you were a visual arts major, they gave you a studio, you did your paintings, you could hang them around the college, for example. And people said, if you were a musician, you could write a string quartet and find two violinists, a violist and a cellist, to play it for you immediately. People were always available. Other musicians in the department were always available to work on other people's ways. So there was a very much a philosophy behind the place of if you want to do it, you can do it. Doesn't mean you'll do it well, doesn't mean you'll do it successfully. It may mean that you encounter the biggest failure and disappointment of your life so far, whatever it is, but the context was you can do it, and if you fail at it, you move on to the next thing you do. I had come out of this atmosphere, and that was the principal, the foundational element of it that I absorbed, that it was, I'd been surrounded by people who had done the thing that they wanted to do. And so I thought, well, I want to write a book, I'll write a book. I had no idea, of course. I hadn't written, so I had no idea how difficult it was. It was a completely different thing to learn how to write. There's recently a poet had told me that when he was in college, and he had been writing poetry since high school, and that when he was in college, one of his teachers took him aside and he said the greatest thing for him, which is to say, you could be a poet, you have the imagination, you have the literary ability, you have the talent, but what you're writing is not poetry. You're just writing out your feelings, and you need to study what other poets have done, learn poetic forms, and begin to express yourself through them. It was a great gift to him to be able to do it. And so I hadn't yet encountered that as a writer. I really just somehow thought, I had such a naive idea of what writing could be that at least I wasn't daunted by the idea of doing it. I thought, well, I want to write a book, so I'll write a book.